Okay, today we're going to be doing a oil change for the winter on a Honda VTX 2005 1300R. Tools you're going to need is going to be ratchet wrench with a 17mm socket. If you have the K&N filter on there, K&N filter 204, you're going to need an 11/16 standard opening wrench, 3 quarts of 10W40, and then I throw this in here, the oil stabilizer, a quart of this during the winter time, so I don't have any cold starts or have any trouble with the bike. And then I'm going to be throwing this filter in there, an STP. This is the model number if anybody has trouble finding them. I've been having a little bit of trouble getting the oil filter for this bike at the auto parts store. Funnel, shop towels, cleaning material, and yeah, that's it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, and then you're going to need a block of wood. You want to have the bike standing pretty much straight when you're changing the oil so you don't get it sloshing to one side. So you can pretty much just get all the oil out and all the yeah. Alright. Get started over here. Break the bolt loose, use your hand. Make sure you're wearing gloves when you're doing this. Try not to get all the contaminants and the oil on your hands. It's not really good for you. Make sure you're wearing a pair of gloves that you won't be too mad if they got ruined or dirty or something like that. Okay, we're just going to set that right there. So we got that plug. Usually when it gets a little bit slower on the draining right here, there's a secondary plug up in the front of the block. I usually get to it after this one stops draining so much. And then see if I can try to get the filter in there. I might be able to get the filter. I'm going to break it loose first. So I can squeeze my hand under there. Loosen this. You want to turn the wrench towards you, just in case you get a little confused. Yeah, there we go, coming right off. Let's try to slide that under there. There she goes. Go ahead and throw that in there since we're not going to be using that anymore. Okay, the other bolt's right here. Let's see if we can get that one put in here. Okay, there's the second bolt. And that's going to be draining out. So we're going to let that drain out. Okay. While we're letting it drain out, start getting your other filter ready to put in. We're going to add some oil into the filter. Try not to make too much of a mess. Fill her up right about there. Get it a little bit in there. Let it soak up. Swirl it around a little bit. Try to get the whole filter a little bit wet. Then we're going to see how it's looking on the filter side. See if it's done draining so we can put that filter on. Okay, so we're pretty much done draining for the most part on that. Now, before you put the filter on, get some oil around that ring, create a good seal. So next time you gotta do your oil change, this filter won't be seized on. It'll be pretty easy to get off. Got a little bit of that on there. Okay. Whenever you're doing oil changes, also make sure you put the cap on this. Just in case you knock it over, you don't lose your oil. It's always a good idea. Okay, so now we got that on. Let's put my glove on real quick. Okay, you shouldn't need to wrench it down too tight. Just hand tight, that's what I like to do. I haven't had any leaks or any problems with that before. Problem with wrenching it down is sometimes it might not be able to come off. I've had to break some filters off before. I've actually done it once on this bike before because the I guess we're still draining a little bit. Did it once before on this bike because I tightened it down way too hard. That was some dirty oil. She was due for a change. Let's get this bolt back on. You tighten this. Same thing with the filter. Nice, snug. Right about there. That's good. Do not want to break these bolts, especially the constant heat and cold wear and tear underneath it. I'm just not taking that chance. Okay, so now we're going to clean up the rest of this. Try not to get it to soak into the concrete. I think the rest of that was just dirt. Okay, now to the fun part. We're going to add the oil. Dipstick is going to be clear. You're going to have some residual on here. Clean it off real good. Double check, make sure we don't got anything there. Yeah, it's bone dry. Okay, so we're gonna take her out now. Set it right there, right over there. Get your funnel. If you used it before, make sure it's clean. Just do a quick wipe in here. Whatever you're pouring through this is going in there. You don't want any dirt, sediment, nothing in there. Okay, so now, do that. What I like to do is add a quart of this, pretty much whatever's left of this, just to get in there to go to the base of the block. And then I'll add my stabilizer in here. Usually it slides down a little bit easier too after you put oil in the funnel. Some people ask me about this. They say, you know, why don't you use STP, or I don't know. They got like Restore out there. They got MMO. There's a couple other brands. Rislin, I think, makes a brand. This is 100% petroleum, as it says right here clearly in the label. It blends with the oil. It blends it up, and it beefs up the oil a little bit. Gets that extra lubrication in there. This bike's got over 30,000 miles on it, and I haven't had to do any extensive repairs on it. And this is what I've done for every oil change, and I haven't had any problems. If you choose not to, just add another quart of 1040. So you're gonna let that all go in there. so we got the oil changed and everything. I'm letting it run for a couple minutes, let it get a bit warmer. Try to get the oil flowing better in here so I can check the level. I think that's good. We'll put it back in. Alright. Okay. Now let's bring that wood over here. Okay. And we are good to go. That's how you change your oil on a Honda VTX.